All right, hello everybody. This is GE101 lecture after the Lab 2 ping pong ball launcher. So fantastic job, everybody. I was super impressed. You all got to it very quickly and did a great job coming up with a quick design, coming up with some team functions, doing testing. Fantastic job. I want to talk about it a little bit. And when I do that, I'm going to have you write in your notebooks. So the notebooks were very good, but I want these questions or comments in your notebook for the second notebook check, which will be week 2. So kind of a debrief. I want your comments on what you liked about this lab and your comments about what you wished was in this lab or the criteria or the constraints, okay? So what you should do is you should pause this video and then take some time, write in your notebook about each one of these. And I'm gonna go through each one and talk about them, but like you can write the I like and I wish, and then start the video again, okay? Number 3 is resources. You had a certain amount of resources available. Sorry about the weird lighting. I'm here in my office, but the resources you have, I want you to comment on both maybe pros and cons on your resources, but it's no different than any engineering project or project in general that I've done in my life as an engineer. You are always constrained with resources. Very seldom do you get the opportunity to just go get whatever you want. There's always a budget, and then there's always availability, and then there's always what's needed for the strength of whatever we're designing. I'm a mechanical engineer, so a lot of times, I'm dealing with strength of materials and different materials, but not an endless choice on materials. So resources are always a problem. They're going to be a problem in this class, and they're going to be a problem when you get out into the world of engineering, in that you're not going to have every resource that you want. You're going to have to work with what's available and what can be afforded in the budget and what you can manufacture with. So have a comment on resources. All right, time. Let's take a minute and just talk about time on this project, and then I'll talk about time. All right, so hopefully you wrote some things down. Time is the same as resources. We never get enough time to engineer something up appropriately and completely. I shouldn't say never. I've never had that. I'm not designing aircraft that carries humans. And actually, most of the design I've done is not life-threatening design. So a lot of times that kind of design work, you're given the opportunity to get a solid start to the design, and then the manufacturing starts. And then sometimes that manufacturing will get ahead of the design, and you'll end up documenting what was done or proving it to be safe and usable. So time is not something we get a lot of either. So you may have felt like you needed more time on this project. And as you get out into industry, you're going to feel the same way all the time, that you wished you had more time to make more complete drawings before it went to manufacturing. So, the jobs start stacking up, and when you get one started, you have it started. And then the next one comes along and you have to start it. And then you'll also be managing that previous project and dealing with, little problems that occur during the manufacturing process, or little problems that occur, during the run of the project. So time's always a problem. All right, next one, number 5. Put some comments down on your team and your team function. All right, so hopefully you got some stuff down. I'm going to spend a whole lecture on team and team dynamics and how to make teams work successfully. You didn't get any of that. You were just thrusted into a team, and it actually looked like most of you were functioning pretty well. some of you were more engaged than others, but that's just our personality type. But there are strategies to get everyone to participate, and I'm going to expose you to those strategies, and also some strategies that make your teams more successful. So, and we'll talk about things that are distracting from teams. So we work in teams. So if you have trouble in a team, then this is your opportunity to practice it and be the best teammate you can be based on your time, your ability, and your energy. So, you know, teammates with good energy are phenomenal. Teammates with low energy and low interest are disappointing. So don't be that disappointment. All right, last piece is documentation. So I want you to write a little bit about maybe some questions you have on documentations. You have to do a few things. You have to do a dimensioned sketch, and I'm going to look at those, and then I actually going to spend a day on graphics for you. So we all can produce a standard engineering type graphic. This can be done by hand or on the computer, either one. You know, if you have CAD skills, it should be done on the computer. If you don't, then we'll just do it by hand. But I'll spend a whole day on that. Other documentation that we'll work with are tables and charts. So some of those could be put into a lab in the future. We'll spend a day on Excel and a day on Word for engineers. So not let's write a paper in Word, but let's put some equations in Word, or let's put some equations in Excel and show some calculations and make it pro looking, because we do want it to be as neat and clean and precise as possible when we create our documents. So the other documentation you got to think about is just notes, you know, keeping track of what was said, who is to do what responsibilities were dished out, when those things are going to get done. That kind of documentation is vital and important, and I think you should start practicing it soon, like now. At some point, somebody's going to come to you and say, how come this didn't get done? And if you have documented your kind of life at work, you can easily go back in time and say, hey, you know, I was given this project on the 14th, but then on the 16th, you had me work on something else for the entire day. So I lost a day on that project because I did this other thing. And supervisors forget about those kind of things. Now, they also might say you should have worked overtime to get it done, right? We're typically salary, not hourly. So we are at the mercy of our supervisors. I've had good supervisors, but I have worked for companies that expected, you know, 40 to 50 hours a week and half-day Saturdays. So that was tough. That was a big adjustment. Most companies aren't that way. The construction industry is that way. So, and I was in the construction industry. So most of my peers, you know, they're looking at a 40-hour a week, but there's always that catch, whatever it takes to get the job done. So, you know, document what you're doing. That'll be your own historical piece of information about what you did when, and then it could come in handy in the future. That's kind of what your notebook's about. So get that going too. All right. Great job on all of it. Happy Wednesday. Get this in your notebook and you'll be ready to go for Monday. Have a great weekend, and email me if you have any questions about any of it. All right. Be well. Take care.